Hey, what's going on, Bama Nation? Welcome to Monday's edition of Crimson Tide Today with Zack Aitken. I wanted to thank everybody for their support for the show's launch this past Friday. It means the world, and I'm continuing to grow this show, and I want you guys to be a part of it. So keep the support and the word of mouth and sharing the show. It's greatly appreciated. I can't stress enough what it means to me. For everything Alabama and show related, make sure to follow my X and Instagram at ZAitken7. Let's begin the opening drive. So back in April, Alabama's athletic director Greg Byrne, he extended head coach Kalen DeBoer's contract by 2 years. It's now set to expire in 2031. The new contract also upped his buyout as well. After all of the buzz regarding Michigan and Penn State, the openings at the head coaching position at those two schools, I feel like this was the right move for the University of Alabama to go ahead and get this deal done. DeBoer, he's currently the best available coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Guys, we got to not forget, this guy took Washington to a national championship game appearance. He's won big games. He's been through the playoff grind before while he's at Washington and while at the University of Alabama year two. And, he's just getting started. This is just year three. Let's think of the other big names that Alabama could go after. Guys like, Kirby Smart. He's not leaving his alma mater to come to Alabama. Steve Sarkisian, he's got a great setup at the University of Texas. And Dan Lanning, he's got things rolling at Oregon. I named those three guys because I just want to bring up that Kalen DeBoer, he's got a big-time winning record against the biggest names in college football. His record against Kirby Smart, Steve Sarkisian, and Dan Lanning, the guy's 7-1. This guy's a big-time coach with a big-time record, so we can't sleep on that as part of his skill set. In year two in Tuscaloosa, DeBoer was able to go 10-2 in the regular season, and he made it to Atlanta. He made it to the SEC championship game in year two. His team was also the first team to win a college football playoff game on the road. That thriller in Oklahoma, we're not going to be forgetting that anytime soon down in Tuscaloosa. On top of his on-the-field success, he's been able to land 2 consecutive top 3 recruiting classes in 2024 and in 2025. Recruiting was supposed to be this guy's major knock. Let's not forget fan bases were trying to call DeBoer Husky Harsin. DeBoer, he's the best current candidate to be the head man at Alabama. Get behind him, get behind his system, and get behind his players. He's going to need it because year 3 is going to be a pivotal year for his tenure moving forward. Moving on, I want to talk about the heavyweight matchup that we've got coming this upcoming season. The SEC and the ESPN, they announced recently that the kickoff time between Alabama and the Georgia Bulldogs will be between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock Central Time over at Alabama. The game's going to be in Tuscaloosa this year. The October 10 game in Bryant-Denny Stadium is going to be the third time in 7 seasons that Georgia has played in Tuscaloosa, and it's the third straight season that these two schools are going to be meeting in the regular season. Alabama won in 2020 and in 2024 in Tuscaloosa, and last season they were able to win in Athens as well. This matchup has turned into a really cool new money SEC rivalry. When you think of the great rivalries in the SEC, you think of, obviously the Iron Bowl, Alabama-Tennessee, Alabama-Georgia, Florida-Georgia, but Alabama-Georgia the past 15 or 20 years, it's really turned into a pivotal matchup that has had championship implications. So it's been great for the sport, it's been great for the media, and it's been great for the fans as well to be a part of. And I'm personally excited that this game is going to be a night game in Tuscaloosa. Bryant-Denny Stadium, it's one of the elite big-time venues in all of college football. Some of my favorite moments from the time when I was at the University of Alabama, they could be traced back to a night game at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Georgia, they're always a tough opponent. It's a program I've always had respect for. The Dogs, they're going to be looking to defend their SEC crown and make another run for a national championship. And they've got some guys on their team. They're going to be led by returning quarterback Gunnar Stockton, guys like Chris Cole, Ellis Robinson. Kirby, he's always been a great coach when it comes to roster retainment and recruitment. So they're going to have some dogs, no pun intended, when they're coming into town on October 10th. Alabama won the regular season matchup last year in Athens. It broke Georgia's 33-game home win streak. But Georgia, they were able to get the revenge in Atlanta in the SEC championship. They were able to take down a beat-up Alabama team to win the SEC title. Georgia, they're currently a 2.5-point favorite, even though Alabama has won 10 of the last 12 meetings versus the Bulldogs. So very excited to see how that matchup turns out, and it's going to be great for the sport. I can't wait for that game on October 10th. Moving on, I want to talk about Alabama's running game in 2026 because when you think of Alabama football, a couple things come to mind, but elite running backs to me really pop when I think of Crimson Tide football. Bama running backs, they typically run with an edge. Guys that run angry, usually one defender can't get them to the ground. They're just, monsters with the football. You think of Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris. I mean, you can just go on and on and on. Those are just a couple of great backs that in recent years have been able to tote the rock for the Tide. This year's bell cow, it looks to be junior running back Daniel Hill. Hill came to the University of Alabama by way of Meridian, Mississippi, and he's made some news recently. Supposedly, he's lost around 10 pounds, and he's a little faster. He's going to be a little bit more explosive this year. But even with the weight loss, this guy is still a big bruising back. He's 6'1", and he's expected to start the season around 235 pounds. Hill, he was my favorite running back in the rotation last year. 5 of his 6 touchdowns came during and after the month of November this past year. Other backs that are expected to get carries are Kevin Riley and A.K. Deere. Both Riley and Deere are nice change-up backs from Daniel Hill. They possess a little bit more burst and a little bit more home run speed, which is going to be perfect to complement Hill's bulldozing running style. A strong, steady run game from Alabama's offense is going to be crucial in 2026 as we're going to have a second straight year of having a first-year starting quarterback. Having a dependable running game, if you ask any quarterback, it takes a lot of pressure off them. Just having that ability to have dependable yardage, turning around, getting 4.5, 5 yards a carry, it just opens up the offensive playbook and it just relieves the quarterback from making them feel like they have to make a play every single time they drop back to throw the football. So Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, we're still undecided who's the quarterback going to be in Tuscaloosa this year. It's going to be critical to have a great running game at the beginning of the year because the first couple of games they're going to be needing to get their feet wet and find their groove. So Alabama, they have to get great offensive line play, but if they can get great running back play to complement the offensive line, open up the passing attack, it's going to do wonders for the Crimson Tide in 2026. Wrapping up today's show, we've got some recruiting headlines. Alabama, they recently received a commitment from 2028 four-star in-state quarterback Kingston Preer. Preer, he chose the Tide over Florida and Vanderbilt. He plays his prep football at Benjamin Russell High School, which is down in Alexander City, Alabama, and he's former teammates with Bama receiver Cedarian Morgan. So it's cool to see that high school connection that's going to be carried over into college. I always am a fan of, that type of relationship getting carried over to the University of Alabama. There's a lot of things to like about Preer's tape when you turn it on. First of all, the guy's a winner. He helped lead Montgomery Catholic, which is in Montgomery, Alabama, to a 5A state championship his freshman year, and then he transferred to Benjamin Russell his sophomore year. Overall, he's a 21-2 starter between the two schools he's attended. So that's an incredible record, just a trait to how he plays the game. The kid, he's an athlete. He's got good measurables. He stands 6'3", and he's around 200 pounds, depending on which recruiting site that you're looking at. He has the ability to extend plays from the pocket, and he's able to hurt defenses with his legs, running the ball down the field in the RPO game and the read option game. Last year, he ran for over 500 yards this past season, and that was in his sophomore campaign. One of the things I like most about his game is how he's able to quickly deliver the ball consistently with a tight spiral, and he's got a quick release. The ball gets out very quickly. The skill set is very clear when you see him operate in the RPO game. As a passer in 2025, he threw for just over 3,000 yards with a 62% completion percentage and 34 touchdowns. So he's still got some room to improve. He's by no means a finished product. Just keep in mind, he's getting into his junior year of high school, folks. But the base traits are there, and we have to keep in mind that he's got plenty of time to develop into being the next elite quarterback down the road for Alabama. Preer, he's been very vocal that he grew up an Alabama fan, and this was a dream opportunity for him to stay in his home state. He had high praise for the coaching staff at Alabama. He's been crediting them with their ability to develop elite college quarterbacks and help get them over to the next level in the NFL. Preer also told Bama 24/7 that he also wants to help recruit other players in the 2028 class. Guys like Tyler Boyd, C.J. Craig James, Samuel Bailey, and Caleb Ballard. Hopefully, Alabama will continue to have a strong relationship with Prier as he enters his junior year. I'm always a huge fan of the Tide keeping in-state talent in Tuscaloosa, and it seems like Prier would agree. He recently told reporters that the best from Bama play at Bama. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in to Crimson Tide today. Is there a topic that you want covered? Drop it down in the comment section for the chance for it to be featured in a future episode. Until next time, roll Tide.